Alright, this presentation is going to take you through sort of the steps of writing a research paper. Of course, we've talked about how to organize your research paper in class, and there's a lot that we've already gone over. But you may be wondering, how do I combine my research and my ideas into an essay that makes sense? So let's talk about that right now. First, what is a research paper exactly? Well, there are a few things you need to know. First, a research paper is your exploration of a topic. You choose a topic that's interesting to you. Could be any topic, it depends on the class. And then you're going to explore that topic, research it, find some information about it, and think about what you think about the topic. Next, it should have your original ideas about the topic. What is your opinion on this topic? What are your thoughts on this topic? And finally, a research paper, obviously, should have research. Now, why do you need to include research in an essay? Well, there are two reasons, and the first one is that you want to prove that you understand the topic. You can't just start talking about a topic that you're interested in and tell us all your thoughts and ideas on it. You need to prove that you've done some research on this topic. You know the issues. You know the many different sides of the argument, what people think about this topic. It proves that you really do understand what you're talking about. You also want research to support your point of view. In America, it's not enough just to say, this is what I believe, and you should agree with me. You need to show that other experts in the field have also had similar ideas, and they can support your ideas on the topic. Your ideas are more respected if you have research to back them up. Now, you might be thinking, what kind of research do I need? Well, I think there are mainly two different kinds you might need. The first is background information and facts. When you're writing about a topic, you need to explain that topic to us at first. Tell us what the issues are. Explain anything that we need to know to understand your paper. Now, in terms of facts, you're going to need research to support your facts if the facts are not commonly known. This is an important time to think about your audience. Who is your audience for this paper? In my class, you should imagine that your audience is Americans. Any general, educated American. So that means if you're writing about an issue that you don't think Americans will know much about, you need some research to support your facts. You can't just tell me, for instance, oh, this is the law in my country. As an American, that's not common knowledge to me. I don't know if that's true. So you need to have a citation, some kind of fact that I could look up myself to prove that that's true. On the other hand, if you want to tell me, for instance, that America was a country that was founded on July 4th, 1776, well, that's very common knowledge in America. Everyone knows that, so you wouldn't need to find a citation to support that. Your audience would understand it. So you have to consider what information your audience probably already knows and what information they don't know. The next thing is that you need research to support your argument. This might be in the form of statistics. You might need numbers, percentages that could provide good support for your argument. Or you might want other well-stated arguments. Someone else who has had a similar opinion to you and has stated their argument very clearly and very well so that people would respect it. You might want to bring in their ideas to show that your ideas are also very good. For example, let's say you're writing an essay about lowering the drinking age in the United States. It's 21 right now, and you think the drinking age should be lowered to 18. Here's some research that you might want for that topic. You might want to do some research about drinking age laws in the United States and the history of these laws. The drinking age in the United States right now is 21. But it hasn't always been 21. It used to be 18, and that was changed a few decades ago. You would want to do some research on that and find out that information. This is not common knowledge for Americans, so you would need to provide a citation and support your facts. You might also want to do some research on statistics about drunk driving or other accidents caused by drinking. There are a lot of accidents that drinking causes, and if you're trying to argue that we should lower the drinking age, some people might say that it will make things more dangerous, so you might want some statistics that would prove the opposite. And finally, you might want some quotes from a respected source about drinking. If you find a good article where someone has argued that the drinking age should be lowered, they agree with your point of view, you might want to quote some lines from their article to show that someone else has had this idea and they support what you're saying. Now, the next thing is how you add research to your paper. This is a little tricky. This is always the hardest part for students. But here's my advice. First, you should write an outline for your paper. That's very important. You need to get your ideas written on paper and in an organized format so that you know what your opinion of the topic is and you know your reasons for your opinion. Then you decide where you add research. Your opinions and ideas first, then think about where you will need research to support your opinions and ideas. And then finally, of course, add your research. First, you want to make your point, whatever your opinion is on the topic, your reason for having that opinion. And then you need to add the research to support your point. Here's an example. Again, let's say you're working on that essay about lowering the drinking age. So your point, perhaps, is that lowering the drinking age will not significantly increase the number of drunk driving accidents. Now you need to add your support. Well, good support for this argument would be to find a statistic that shows that that's true. Perhaps you might find a statistic that shows that the number of drunk driving accidents for 18 to 20-year-olds is not really a very big number when you compare it to the number of drunk driving accidents caused by people over the age of 21. So you might find that actually, really, it's not very dangerous. It doesn't seem like 18 to 20-year-olds drive very dangerously, seem to drive a lot when they're drunk. So that would be a statistic that would prove that there's no problem with lowering the drinking age. That would definitely help that argument. Another example, still with the drinking age essay. Let's say your point is that keeping the drinking age at 21 actually encourages more reckless, dangerous behavior. There are some people, for instance, who believe that keeping the drinking age at 21, it makes it seem kind of exciting. 18-year-olds want to drink even more because it's illegal, it's forbidden. And when you're 18 and you're stupid, you want to do crazy, ridiculous things. So if the drinking age were 18, it wouldn't seem so exciting to drink. It wouldn't seem so forbidden. So maybe it's actually better to lower the drinking age. Now, if that's your point, it's a good point. To add your support, you would probably at this point want to find an article that makes a similar argument. An article that says that young people always want to do what they're forbidden to do. As soon as someone tells us, no, you're not allowed to do it, suddenly, of course, we have to do it. An argument that you could find in an article like that would definitely help your point. A few things to always remember. The first thing is that a research paper is mostly about your opinion. First and foremost, you should be telling us your opinion on the topic, your thoughts about this topic. You shouldn't just be summarizing research articles. This is different from, for instance, a reaction essay, where you want to summarize an article that you've read and then respond to it. So the article comes first and your opinion comes second. In a research paper, your opinion comes first and the research is second. You should always make sure that another important point is that your ideas are about the topic are your ideas. You should not copy from other sources. What's going to be very tempting when you do your research is that you will find really good articles that have very good ideas about the topic. They are better ideas than you had, more interesting, more original ideas than what you had. And so what might happen is that you will make those ideas your main argument. You'll take those ideas and say, oh, I never thought about that before. And you'll make those the main arguments for your paper. You can't do that. You can't write a paper based on someone else's arguments. You need to have your own ideas first. First, your own thoughts about the topic, and then you can find people to support it. Make sure that you don't copy your ideas from your sources. In essence, like I said before, write your outline first with your ideas, and then do your research. That way you make sure you don't plagiarize.